Hi, thank you to listening to Rolling with the Diva on Anchor Radio. We are here for you on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 8 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're a radio show that focuses on the mind, heart, and spirit. You are amazing, you're wanted, and you're valuable. Remember, there's nothing that you cannot do in life as long as it's meant for you. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome to Rolling with the Diva on Sunday, June 2nd. Can you believe it? It's already June 2nd. It has been a wonderful day. I have been busy, I think, most of the day. I got to drive my son to Meeplesville. No, that's not a place. That's actually a game and book, not a game, bookstore, coffee shop here. And it has over 2,000 games. You can get together with a group, and it's just really exciting. And there's lots of good things that your kids can do for the summer here, or even for you to be in a group with people. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about, you know what? You were meant for greatness. And it's based on today's Bible reading for me. I'm really trying to be focused on meditating, taking quiet time with God. And today's was on Esther. And you were in the Bible verse from Esther, and I will actually read it to you later, but this is a paraphrase. You were meant for a time as this. So, and we'll learn a quick story about Esther, but I just want to let you guys know that you are important, you're valued, and you're more than enough. Enjoy the show. The song we're going to play right now is by Mark Allah. He actually played it on his violin and still, so just wanted you guys to hear the song. It actually pertains to it because he talks about a woman like you that in the song he wrote that he did wrong. And you guys will be able to hear the lyrics because I love country songs because they're just like get to the heart of things. But I think it's really actually goes with this segment of you were meant for greatness, because maybe you're in a relationship and you have to break up. Maybe you're getting a divorce. Maybe you're starting a new job and you're just really nervous, or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to take this promotion. Maybe I should stay back. Don't do that. Enjoy the show, and may you be blessed.
Soul is finally found, peace I wish it
All right, thank you, Mark Allah. Mark Allah has given permission to play that song, so please, make sure that you guys don't play any songs on here without the artist's permission. These are indie artists, and they are so awesome about letting us play the songs, but you on Rolling with the Diva, but again, you need to get that permission from them to play. All right, so we're going to go on with the time. You are meant for greatness, and I based it off of my Bible study, as I said earlier. So I'm going to get you up to bring you guys up to speed on the Book of Esther. And basically what was going on in the Book of Esther, Esther was Jewish. She had been chosen as one of the kings in the king's basically court, because the king's original wife, let's just say her name was Saritha, decided she didn't want to come when the king called her and didn't want to be showing off her beauty. And that didn't make the king very happy. And he got with his advisors, and they came up with these laws, and so her throne was to be taken away from her and her crown, and he found somebody else. Long story short, he finds favor with Esther out of all of the women that are presented to him. Mind you, they had to go a year of, being with perfumes and lotions and really doctored up. I need that kind of massage and everything. And then Esther, there's a guy who just does not like her uncle Mordecai, and that's Haman. And Haman decides that he's going to put all the Jews to death. And Haman tells Esther, after he's mourning and has sackcloth and ashes, which are outfit that you put on in that time, and he says to her, Esther, he says, for if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows, you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Such a time as this. We all have a place that we're meant to be in life, and we all have what I'm trying to say, we all have a gift and something that we're good at. And it says in the Bible, we all have different talents. So don't say you don't. If you do, you need to rethink your life and really reestablish your self-esteem and know you are meant for greatness. Don't listen to those naysayers or those people that say you can't. And say you want to go for a job that you are, maybe you are on the front line, but you want to apply for a job as middle management because you decide you have went to school for that. You've been working on your degrees, learned all the classes, and you believe you can. And you go to your boss, and your boss may not be the most person that you can bring things to and maybe seems a little challenged with information, but there's a way to approach people to get them on your side. And that's what Esther did. She knew that it would be her, basically, I say her head could have been cut off if she wouldn't have been invited with the golden scepter by the king. He'll stick it out into the person he wants to appear. So that day, Esther stood outside of the king's, by the door, basically. You guys can read this in Esther, and it's about 7 chapters in the Book of Esther, 7 or 8, I think. Don't quote me. And he pointed out the royal scepter because he was so happy to see her. She touched it and she went up. She invited the king and Haman, which is the bad guy, to come over to a dinner the next day. They came, and in the meantime, Haman was planning to get rid of Mordecai, but God had other plans. And Esther knew that her life was going to be, she could be killed, but she felt her people were just as important as everybody else. And so she did this, and she had them pray, and for 3 days fasting, no drinking, eating, or everything. And they did that. And she did that with her group of people that were there to help her. And that's one of the things. Sitting and praying about something, meditating on it. Maybe you believe in Jesus Christ. Maybe you have a higher power. Maybe you don't. But taking the time to be mindful, and that's an actual thing, mindfulness of what you want, how you want to receive, how you want to get it is important, and what you're going to do. And don't just react, respond. Esther is a great example of a person in the Bible who didn't respond. Even she was chosen by God. Even long before she knew it, she was chosen by God. It wasn't by coincidence that Esther was placed as one of the people, of one of the ladies that the king chose. God placed her there. And her uncle was in a right position because Esther didn't have a family. And that's a different story. You guys can read that. But she chose to step up and be responsible. So I want you guys to remember, you are meant for greatness. Don't ever think that you're not. And just so you guys know, I really love the www.biblestudytools.com, and they have so much information. They have the full Bible there in many versions. I love the New International Version, but whatever you want, like say you want it in the King James Version to hear the Book of Esther. Let me stop. But anyway, you know what I mean. And that's where I get a lot of my information, and I'm giving them credit for some of the information I got today on Esther. Now, here's another website, because I love going and researching, whether it's magazines or journals, and giving people credit for what they did, because sometimes we don't give people credit, and that's called stealing. People, you were meant for greatness, but you weren't meant to steal, not unless you want to be up in prison and being somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend and having peanut butter sandwiches, no jelly, and watered down milk. I don't know. Where do I get these things? I don't know. I'm probably just overly dramatic. Okay. Anyway, let me see. I'm trying to get to this little part that I have. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have it. 4 important things that you can learn from the Book of Esther. And this is from Bible Study Tools. And I'm very happy with that. And this article is by Ron Edmondson. And he loves the story of Esther, but one of the 4 things, and we're going to make these just go through them quickly. You guys can read them. And it is the 4 principles that he saw from the Book of Esther. 1, God has a plan for your life. And I've said that to you guys before. God has a definite plan, purpose for you, as in my favorite Bible verse of the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, but to prosper you and give you a hope in the future. And for your Bible thumping people, don't send me an email, because that's paraphrased. And I'm not perfect, but God is, and you're not. All right. Anyway, so Esther was placed in a royal position, not by chance, just like I said earlier. And one of the verses he has here, which I like, it says Proverbs 16:9. In his heart, a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his step. Of course, I'm going to go here. I'm going to buy this car. By the time I'm 20, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. And by the time I'm 40, I'm going to have, 5 kids. I stick it to 2 because you only have 1 hand for each. God gave you 2 hands. That's so I believe he only wanted you to have 2 kids. But that's just me. I don't be like, oh my God, I said this in the Bible, but I'm just saying. And then by the time I'm 50, I'm going to be retired, taking vacations and all that stuff. And then some of those things don't happen and you get upset, but God has a plan. And I believe that the time clock of the Lord is not our time. It's our time could be like, we could see this as 10 years, but in God's time, that could be a day. The number 2 thing that he says, sometimes you'll have to go against common sense, against what others advise, even against what you want to do in order to follow God's plan. And I can attest to that. If it would have been up to me, it is up to me. Sorry, let me say that. If it would have been up to other people in my life, I would have been a housewife and I was a mom and housewife, married for 18 years, but I would have just never worked. I would have just been this perfect Christian person, which there is no such thing. And that was in my mind because I'm thinking I'm perfect and I was not. And that I wouldn't go into social work and help people and have a blessing and realize that my talent and skills, I was meant to help people. I was meant to counsel people. I was meant to support people and help them see their dreams. I'm an encourager. So we all have something. Number 3, the time to follow God's plan is now. Not when you decided or not when you want to. And I know some people don't believe in God. Okay. But still, some people believe in a higher power. Follow that. But you still have to remember, if you just keep doing the things you want to do, maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. But Esther 4:14 says, for if you remain silent, and as I said, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish, and who knows but that you have to come to a royal position for such a time as this. And what he was saying, because Esther was like, well, I'm here, and you can't go in front of the king without being summoned with his golden scepter, as I described to you guys earlier. And that's when he said that. And that's when Esther said, okay, you know what? Pray for me for 3 days. You guys can read that story. It's and it's really good. In chapters, I think 3 and 4. So we almost consider, like, we don't know the future. And sometimes we listen to other people and like, oh, you're not meant for that. And you're like, okay, well, thanks for the encouragement. You're so lovely. I appreciate that. But they don't know. Only God knows, and only your gut feeling, and we all are given a gut feeling, can tell you where you're meant to be. You know what you're not meant to be. That's funny because there's life careers that people take quizzes for. And one of the life career tests I took one time had me as a police officer. Well, that wouldn't happen. And I'm like, why would that even have me as a police officer? Because, see, this is my motto. Because I worked in juvenile hall. I had the privilege of working in Orange County Juvenile Hall for, I think, almost like a year and a half or two. And then I had the opportunity, I could have went to be a probation officer or officer, but see, this is my motto. I'm not chasing you. I'm not calling you. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you not in the head or heart. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to shoot you in the knee or butt, somewhere to injure you because I'm not chasing you. So they would always have me on desk duty. So I knew that wouldn't be a career for me because you don't shoot first and ask questions later. It's not like that. You try to love the people and be right. So I wasn't meant for a police officer. I'm not meant for sales because the minute that you throw that dress or top back at me or you yell at me, I'm going to walk away and call you a dummy and then move on. I couldn't do, so I'm meant for encouraging, coaching, things like that. So that's what it means when you're meant for something and you're meant for greatness and your time may not be what you want and you may have to say, I'm going to do this. Even if your parents say, oh my God, no, you shouldn't go be a chaplain. You shouldn't be a pastor. No, don't marry that girl. But you know in your heart, or marry that guy or do this or that. But you know in your heart, and you feel God leading you that way, you do it again away. And all those people aren't for you. But as time goes on, they can see that you made the best chaplain and you made the best minister. And the girl or guy you married, a person you married, or person you got with was meant for you. And you guys creating greatness. So don't be afraid to go out on that limb, to go out on that shelf. Do what you feel. I'm not telling you to go jump out of a plane because that wouldn't be me. And I'm not doing bungee jumping. But I'm telling you, do your life that you feel the calling from God, your higher power, and you feel those. And you've had mindfulness. Hold on, I'm drinking my Diet Coke. No, Diet Coke is not paying me. But I just love Diet Coke. I used to be a Pepsi girl, but this new diet taste is amazing to me. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to say to you that there will be times in your life, and this is from the article, and you've gathered all the information you can, you've prayed as well as you know, you sought godly counsel, or maybe you don't believe in God, and you sought friends who are great mentors to you, and that's fine, and you are not doing anything bad or sinful, but there is something inside of you that says you're still not sure. You sleep on it. There's something. But Esther waited 3 days. But at some point, you just have to muster the courage. You have to move forward and you have to go forward. And I've been in those situations, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm just like, I'm going to do this. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Like my doctors, when I was 10 years old, because I had what I thought was a hip replacement. I just learned recently in the last 6 months, it was rods drilled through my whole hip on my right side. And they said I wouldn't do this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. They don't know me. And my mom was afraid at times for me to try things, but I wasn't. I've gotten on skis. I wouldn't do downhill skiing anymore because I don't like tumbling, and that sort of kind of hurt my hip. But I have done everything that they said I couldn't and more because you know what? God knew what I was meant for. He knew I was meant for greatness and that my story one day would help somebody else. So don't give up on your dream, your passion, because somebody comes along and says, oh my God, you can't do this. Or somebody says, I don't think God wants you to do that. First of all, they're not God. Yes, people can come along and encourage you and can say, I don't think, but at the end of the day, it's between you, God, your higher power, or you meditating on it because you are important and you have a gift that is supposed to be in this world. You are meant for a time as this and never forget that. You're amazing, you're wanted, and I really deeply appreciate you listening to Rolling with the Diva. I want to say thank you to Elations Radio for giving us this opportunity to be on to sponsor us, and I get a little tongue-tied, especially when I'm talking about God, and I'm so excited. And I just want you guys to know that you're amazing, and just don't give up on yourself. Keep going. Remember, 211 in any area can, whoa, sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. but don't worry about it. 211, that was part of Mark's song. Sometimes I'll start playing these things, and they'll just keep going, and I'm not even sure what it's going. So I'll just like, there we go again. So I would have to put out all the songs. But I just want to remind you guys that 211 in any state of the United States, you can call for help. And that's in part of my first part of this. But whether you're suicidal, please go to call 911 or get to the nearest emergency room. Or if you're suicidal ideations, call a friend, go to counseling, call 211 for referral, for food referrals, for housing referrals. Please call 211 and ask them for help, and they can give those to you. If you ever just want somebody to talk to and to bounce things off of, and you need that, please send me an email at cvwtdiva@gmail.com, and I will definitely answer you, and I will definitely be in touch with you. And you know what? Just remember, you are meant for greatness. You are meant for a time as this. Don't lose that hope. Don't lose that glory. May you have joy, which is Jesus, others, and yourself. Because when you have Jesus, a higher power, or a higher power, and you're putting other people first, your life becomes so much better. And then yourself is last. Not saying you take care of yourself last, because of course you have to take care of yourself first. But in order to do that, you have to put others first. I have a great opportunity. I'm actually volunteering for ProCare Hospice. And hospice is a place where people live out the last days of their life, where they think that they only have a short time to live, the doctors. And they go there, and there's doctors, nurses, and everything helping them, whether it's in a home. I have 2 clients now, and it's just wonderful to be able to give respites to people. Respites are ability to be there for 4 or 5 hours, and then the family member gets to go out and enjoy themselves and breathe and come back, because they really do love their family, but everybody needs a respite. I just want to remind you guys that volunteering is the best way to see that you can do great things. So don't ever forget that, and don't. You can volunteer at your kid's school. You can actually volunteer by giving food to people on the street corner. Put it in a plastic bag with the phone number for 211, and there a towel, some wet wipes, things like that for them. But here we're going to play Take Me There with Lady Princess, and we're going to end the episode. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.
It belongs to you, wherever you are.
All right. Thank you for listening to Rolling with the Diva on Anchor Radio. Anchor, you know what? I encourage you guys to actually, if you have a topic you want to talk about and you think you should be heard on the radio, now let me tell you, some of y'all don't need to be heard on the radio, but if you think you need to be heard on the radio and you want to get that out there, Anchor Radio is the best because you can upload it to, it actually goes uploaded to Google, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and the great thing about Spotify, you can play your songs inside of the recording when you play, when you record from Spotify, when you put in for Spotify. Just so you know. Bye, y'all. Love you. Peace and blessing.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.